everyone. I am David Crockett, coming to you from the Jim Crockett Promotions Control Center with your Ric Flair's Last Match Report. July 31st, live from the Nashville Municipal Auditorium, Ric Flair laces up his boots for one last match. But I'm here to announce an exciting match just signed for the event. Facing each other for the very first time in what some are calling a Dream Championship match.
Josh Alexander is one of only 9 Impact Triple Crown champions in 2 decades and has only been pinned once in the last year in Impact. Alexander defends against a member of the famous Anoa'i family, MLW's own Jacob Fatu, a former MLW World Heavyweight Champion. He looks to add the Impact World title to his resume.
Don't miss a single moment of the action. Tickets are now on sale at RicFlairsLastMatch.com. But if you can't make it to Nashville, don't worry, we've got you covered. You can order the whole weekend of events right now at Starrcast.com. Choose from any of the bundles we're offering to ensure you don't miss a single minute of this massive weekend. Again, that's Starrcast.com. Fans, stay tuned for more match announcements from Jim Crockett Promotions Control Center. I'm David Crockett, and I'll see you next time.
What is cars and all this? Woo! But to be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal, I'm the man. Woo!
Fairgrounds. My name is Mike Keith, and this is an exciting day for our city and for everyone who loves sports entertainment and everyone who loves the great Ric Flair. Today we're going to talk about something very special, and that's Starrcast V, which will take place right here at the Nashville Fairgrounds, July the 29th through the 31st. We'll also be discussing Ric Flair's last match, which is coming up on July the 31st. Before we get to that, I want to introduce the people on the dais today. First of all, the COO of Fight, Mike Weber. Steve Kay, who is the head of marquee events for Thusio. Dick Coley, the co-founder and president of the First Step Foundation. Brenda Haywood, the deputy mayor of Metropolitan Nashville. Welcome. We bring to the stage now someone who, in the world of sports entertainment, needs no introduction. He, too, is a legendary figure. From Jim Crockett Promotions, please welcome David Crockett. A Nashville legend in his own right, WWE Hall of Famer, third-generation wrestling promoter. Please welcome Jeff Jarrett. And of course, the man of the hour, the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion. Please welcome the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. All right, we're all here and ready to get down to business. Let's first talk about Starrcast V. It's had a 3.5-year hiatus. It's back and bigger than ever. July the 29th through the 31st, right here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Merchandise, memorabilia, photo ops, autographs, and dozens of stage shows. To learn more, go to Starrcast.com. That's also where you would find your tickets. The list of wrestling royalty that will be here, it's pretty amazing. Arn Anderson, Lex Luger, DDP, Bryan Danielson, Mick Foley, Renee Paquette, Tony Schiavone, Bret Hart, Kevin Nash, Eric Bischoff, Jerry the King Lawler, and the Four Horsemen with J.J. Dillon. That's just a few of the names. It's an amazing list, and if you're a fan of wrestling, this is something you want to be part of. Starrcast V, July 29th through the 31st, here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Again, for more information, visit starrcast.com. The event culminates on July the 31st with Ric Flair's last match. Here to inform everybody, in case you did not know, that the event has grown so big, so many people want to be a part of it, that it's being moved to Municipal Auditorium in Nashville. It's produced by Thuzio, will be streamed worldwide by Fight, but if you want to be part of it, at the Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. So hopefully you'll get excited and jump right in, because if you wait, it'll be sold out even in a bigger venue. Another thing that's going to happen with this whole weekend of excitement is something special that will benefit the First Step Foundation to help people have a chance to beat addiction. Ric Flair's last robe will be raffled off, and anyone will have a chance to get in, buy a ticket, and potentially walk away with this keepsake. You don't have to outbid millionaires all over the world. All you have to do is take a chance and get involved, and you do something incredibly positive in the process, and that is help the First Step Foundation help those who are fighting addiction. Monday at noon Eastern, go to RicFlairsLastMatch.com, and you have the opportunity there to go ahead and get a chance at Ric Flair's last robe. Again, proceeds benefit the First Step Foundation to help people have a chance to beat addiction. We have the opportunity now to hear from some of the people on stage with us. And as I mentioned, we're in Nashville. Lots of great things are happening in our city right now. Lots of great things happening right here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. And so having the opportunity to come and give us some news about some things that our Mayor, John Cooper, plans to do for Starrcast V and for Ric Flair's last match, let me introduce Brenda Haywood, Deputy Mayor of Metropolitan Nashville.
Well, first of all, it would be difficult for me to even articulate how excited we are about this event. And I consider it an honor and a pleasure to stand here on behalf of our Mayor, John Cooper. He asked me to tell you that he is very regretful that he is not with you today, but his spirit and his heart, they are definitely here. I want you to know that professional wrestling has always brought people together here in the South. I can attest to that because I've been married to my husband over 50 years, and there are not too many weeks that he doesn't tell me that he and his grandfather and his entire family bonded over weekend wrestling matches. So he always talks about wrestling. And I just became a big fan of anybody that either wrestled or enjoyed watching it. And with professional wrestling legend here today, the Nature Boy, that brings so much excitement to add. It's called, I'm a retired teacher, we call it value added. He's just adding to the value of our city. Ric Flair, he's set to have his final match here in Nashville on Sunday, July the 31st. And Mayor Cooper, now hear this, don't get it twisted, Mayor Cooper has dedicated July 31st to be the Ric Flair Day here in Nashville. Give it up. In Nashville, Tennessee. We're very excited about that, and he's also going to have something special for him. The final match was going to be, of course, it's already been mentioned, at the fairgrounds. However, there's so much excitement around the country and beyond the final match had to be moved. So thousands of wrestling fans will be coming to Nashville for the Starrcast V to see none other and to be a part of the notorious, beautiful, isn't he beautiful? Give it up for Ric Flair.
All right, beautiful.
So in closing, as I take my seat, I would just like to say that we consider it an honor and a pleasure to host you and your many fans here in none other than Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you for the opportunity to stand before you today. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor, thank you for those remarks. When you think about wrestling throughout the South, you think about Jim Crockett Promotions. They started promoting wrestling and other sporting events back in 1933. That was the year Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected president for his first term. So they've been doing it a long time and doing it well. And one of their best things that they had happen throughout the course of their promotion was seeing Ric Flair cut his teeth with Jim Crockett Promotions and grow into the Nature Boy. That's where he won his first championship, and that's where the legend truly began. We know them well. We know the 6:05 start times. We know the NWA. We understand what they've meant to the sport, to the fans, and obviously to Ric Flair. Here today, representing Jim Crockett Promotions, who's certainly taking a big part in Ric Flair's last match, please welcome David Crockett.
Thank you very much. I wouldn't miss this, really. You know, with Rick, our company, our family, we want to thank everyone. Without the fans, this company would not exist. Ric Flair would not exist. None of us. And to be here for his last match is unbelievable, because I look at Rick. Rick and I have a very special relationship. You know, that I watched him when he first came in, this sort of blown up little doughboy. He developed into the Nature Boy. I was in a plane crash with him, you know, that we should not be here because of the plane crash. I went to Atlanta when he was in intensive care, dying at the time. He didn't want to do that. So that just shows me Rick is going to go out the way he wants to go out, and his last match is the way he wants to go. So that is what's going to happen, and it's a privilege for me to just be part of it. And I thank you, Rick, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
We're surrounded by wrestling royalty today. One part of that is certainly Nashville wrestling royalty. When you talk about the Jarrett family, you understand that they have been in this business for nearly a century. Jeff Jarrett is in the WWE Hall of Fame. He is a third-generation wrestling promoter. Most importantly to us, he's our hometown guy. We are extremely proud of Nashville's own Jeff Jarrett. Please welcome him to the podium.
Woo! Oh, thank you for having me. It really is an honor to be here. And as Mike said, 1946, my grandmother, I get emotional every time I tell the story. You started selling wrestling tickets on 4th Avenue. And now, 75 years later, I get the honor and privilege to carry on 3 generations. And the greatest wrestler who's ever put on a pair of wrestling boots is having his last match in my hometown. There's a lot of things I could stand up here and say, but, and I'm a long-winded storyteller, but to have the honor and the privilege to be a part of this event. A couple years ago, my podcast partner, Conrad Thompson, had this idea about Starrcast and bringing folks together and have a convention, essentially a Comic-Con for professional wrestling. Fans get their autographs, get photo ops, and then he did these stage shows. And I called him on the phone one day and said, hey, why don't we stream this on Fight? And I'm grateful that I'm a part that brought those two together. And so here we are at Starrcast V. Bret Hart's going to be here talking about an event that happened over 30 years ago. Mick Foley, Kevin Nash, Paige. Literally, it's the who's who of professional wrestling. The Four Horsemen with J.J. Dillon are going to be at a photo op. It's certainly pretty safe to say it's going to be the first time in many, many years, and probably the last time for that opportunity. So all the uniqueness out of this event that's going to take place July 29, 30, and 31. And I just cannot continue to think about just right up on the hill where the sports arena was. How many matches that I had as a kid growing up in this business. And now it's in a lot of ways for me because I've taken on a new role, and my wrestling days, for all intents and purposes, are behind me. But to be a part of this event, Starrcast V, Conrad Thompson, the team, the massive team he's put together, I could go on and on and on. Dave Silva, Mike Dawkins, Marcus. I literally could sit up here for quite some time about all the hard work that goes into this, and it is, as David said, for the fans. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be an emotional weekend for a lot of folks. It is going to be a special night. Rick won his, not one, but 2 world titles right here in Nashville. As Mike Keith referenced earlier, Nashville has a lot of things going on. Just right up the hill here that tore down the sports arena, we got a new soccer stadium. So Preds and Titans and soccer and music and CMA Fest and all the different things that are happening in Nashville, we've in a lot of ways become the it city. But July 31st, the entire world, the wrestling world, will have their eyes focused at the Municipal Auditorium. 6:05 is when it kicks off, and I'm just glad in so many ways that I get to be a part of it. Thank you.
Ric Flair has entertained hundreds of millions of people in thousands of venues throughout the course of a roughly half-century career. Stop and think about that. Stop and think about how many people in this world can say they have entertained hundreds of millions of people. And that doesn't even count the Saturdays and the Mondays on TV. The pay-per-views. I bought 1989, Ricky Steamboat, Municipal Auditorium. Watched it with my roommate. And we watched him beat Steamboat in a great match and then shake hands. And then Terry Funk turned on you. So bad. But you think about this. Ric Flair has made us love him. He's made us hate him. He's made us cheer for him. He's made us feel sorry for him. He's made us laugh. But how many hours has he given people where they've been taken out of their own world and told a story by someone who tells a story better than anybody else? Legend is thrown out too much. Great is thrown out too much. But sitting to my left is a legend, and great is not nearly strong enough. And so, on July the 31st at Municipal Auditorium, we have the opportunity to see him one more time, but more importantly to most of us, and I'm just a fan, to thank him one more time for what he has brought us throughout the course of a remarkable career. It is an honor to introduce to you the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, the limousine riding, kiss stealing, No. Limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. That's why he does it and not me. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Wow. That's a lot to digest, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, but I think the key word came from the deputy mayor, notorious, which I have been forever. No, I'm serious. I don't even know where to begin. Conrad Townsend is married to my oldest daughter. We've been friends for, I want to say, 8 years now, 9 years, and you know, I was aware of the Starrcast opportunity that he puts on every year, which has been remarkable and been received so well. But I've never had a chance to be part of it. And now, when he called me and said, "What do you think about wrestling one more match?" I had to think, well, you know, yeah. It took me that long to say, yeah, really? Yeah. I didn't have to think. Yeah, I said, really? And he said, yeah, can you get ready? I said, yeah, I can get ready. 3 months is a long time to prepare, but it is enough time. And to be standing here in front of so many respectful people saying so many nice things is so rewarding in itself. It's hard to explain the feeling going on inside of me right now. And then to be talking about donating pieces of my robe to a charity that reflects what happened to the passing of my son in 2013, which almost killed me, as a lot of you know. But then I look to my right, and I see Jeff Jarrett, and Jeff Jarrett and I are friends and have been friends, regardless of wrestling or not. Jeff and I keep up on the Titans. When the Titans have a tough game, I'm the first to let them know. When they win, I say the luckiest son of a bitch of all time. Then Mike Brable called me the other day and said he's going to come to the show, and I said, "Do you know Jeff Jarrett?" He said, "Yeah, but I haven't met him yet." I said, "Good." That's something else I'll tell him when I see him. And of course, I've known Karen forever, just wonderful people. I can't say enough about Jeff and his dad. They're great people. Conrad, Dave Silva, Dave Green, Mike Dawkins, Wendy, Megan, Ashley, everybody, my family, thank you so much. Everybody's been great, and I'm honored to do this, and I've got myself in shape. And I don't want anyone to think for a second that this is, I think this is going to be, this is not going to be my last match, but I'm going to walk into that ring and I'm going to walk out of it. I don't want you to come thinking and buy it because you think something's going to happen. I'm more than prepared. I've trained myself, and you know what? I've been saying it forever. There's two ways to go. One would be in the ring, the other I've been very public about too, which we won't talk about now. So anyway, I'm honored to be here in Nashville. I've had more fun in this town than I have Chicago, and that's saying a lot. Is Printer's Alley still here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go. The Palm at the Hilton? Wow, okay. So I love this place. Tootsie's, I could go on forever about Nashville. I won't. Anyway, I love this town. I love the people, the great wrestling atmosphere. I love the Jarrett family. Respect them so much. They're such a big part of this community. Jeff and Jerry both, and I didn't know he was third generation, but I can believe it. Jeff's got it in his blood. He's had it in his blood his whole life, and he will be regarded as one of the greats of all time. So thank you. I'm honored. Conrad, thank you for calling me. Everybody out there, thank you for believing in me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. I promise you that on the 31st, I won't be Ric Flair of '89, but I'll be better than Ric Flair of '99. How about that? No, not '99. Whoa. Yeah, 2009. I had to think for a second. Well, maybe '99. So anyway, depends how much practice I can get out of Lethal. He's pissed off at me right now. But anyway, I'm honored. Thank you for coming out today, and to the mayor and assistant mayor and Jeff and everybody that came here, David and everybody. Thank you so much. I will never, ever be able to say how much this means to me personally. It seems like I've had more greater moments and more greater opportunities than any man alive. If you go back to Starrcade '83 and then my retirement with Sean and And this comes along, and it's probably will go down in history as probably maybe the biggest moment of my life. If I can prove to you and to all the skeptics that I can do this and be good at it, and be real good at it. Not great, but real good. And I'm hoping to give you guys the show of a lifetime. Will never try any less than 120%, which I have my whole career, and I promise you. On the 31st, I'll walk it out. I'll style and I'll profile. I will look as only I can look. And by the end of the night, you'll all be standing there going, what the hell did he do? Woo!
All right, we have time for questions for anyone on the panel. We have a microphone. Just raise your hand. We'll bring it around to you. I think John's got a question here.
Hi, Rick. Welcome back. Congratulations on a great career. You mentioned it before, your last match with Shawn at Mania. We all thought it was, the swan song for the great Ric Flair. You said it didn't take you very long to get convinced to do this one more time. Once you got in there and started training with Lethal, how soon did it come back for you, and when did it click for you when you said, yeah, I can do this?
Well, we're just being totally honest about everything. So there's two things that could go wrong with me. My heart pacemaker could become unplugged, but that's plug it back in. The other thing is, as Jeff knows, I've had a inner ear problem 3 or 4 times in my life. Once was when Jeff hit me with a guitar. And Jeff actually was going to drive me back home from Detroit. I said, no, it's not necessary. I'll make it. But those are one of the 2 things I worried about. The blood thinners, I just won't take one that day. But after I took my first couple bumps with Jay, and I had to be comfortable with someone I was training with, and Jay's fantastic. And once I first took one, then I took another, and then the more people that come to watch me, the more bumps I can take. the empty, in other words, now that I know I can do it, I'll be flying around if it's 7,000 people. Probably not at warp speed, but no, it's running the ropes and doing drop down and getting up and drilling. It's not the taking the bumps, the time and the psychology. And I just think that those are some of the things that are missing in wrestling now. I think Jeff would agree. He's in a tough position. He works for WWE, but not a lot of that psychology takes place in wrestling anymore. It's more the time to get in, get out, and it's scripted. You have to know what you're doing. I guarantee you the components of this match, when it all comes together, we won't be out there memorizing something 5 minutes before we go in the ring. We'll feel it in our hearts, every one of us, and we'll go.
Will you identify? Have them identify.
If you would, please identify yourself before you ask your question.
Sure. Hey, Rick. Connor Casey, comicbook.com. Good to talk to you again. You mentioned the conversation that Conrad had with you that got this whole ball rolling, but prior to that, did you have it in your mind that your career needed some sort of finale that was better than that last match you had in Impact back in 2011?
Absolutely. I went back to work because I was devastated by 2 divorces. And you're paying $30,000 a month to an attorney and $20,000 a month in alimony for 3 years of marriage. It just didn't work out. So I had to go back to work. Now I don't have to. Thanks to Conrad and a lot of other people that worked with me to get myself back on my feet. Conrad got it started, and it kicked in place, and everybody. Anyway, I'm very cool. I wanted to prove to myself. When you get so down on yourself, only athletes understand this. There are people in business may too. When you lose your psyche, if you lose your psyche, you're never the same. You can go through the motions, you can go through the actions, you can feel it, you can feel the pain, but if you don't have your psyche and you're not here, it's never good enough. And if anybody that's ever lost it, it's kind of like I'm watching the hockey right now. The goalie from the Avalanche, right? Best goalie, the goalie for the lady. Best goalie in hockey. But he took 7 shots the other night in Denver and he got beat. But they put him back. They never pulled him from the goal. They kept him there. Cooper's a smart coach. And they're going to play tomorrow night. Avalanche is going to beat him tomorrow night. But getting back to psych. I have the psych here now. And that's all I needed. And we'll get the opponents put together. And I think people, especially in the South, they like wrestling. But, you know, we call it, when I first got to Charlotte, David knows, it was me and Richard Petty. It was wrestling and racing. And wrestling's never left Nashville. So we're going to wrestle. And I'm talking about in the old days, and Jeff knows what I'm talking about, when guys would take a chisel, right, and cut off the end of a chisel and put it in a metal plate and put it in their fingers, and that was a hard way. Boom. Chisel right in the head. Not a blade, chisel. So I can't guarantee a chisel, but I'll have something with me. Sorry I even told the story about the chisel. No, I'm not getting one.
Rick, Aaron Goldbertson with the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network. I'm sure everybody's wondering this question, but when do we get to find out what the exact details on the final match are, and if there's any hints you can drop along the way?
I can't, because I'm not booking it. I truly am not. I'm just, my heart's invested in this, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I don't know. I mean, I obviously could say no if I didn't like somebody, but I'm sure I don't know anybody I wouldn't want to be in the ring with.
Any other questions?
Yes, Marcus K. Dowling, the Nashville country music reporter at the Tennessean. I'm a 40-year-long wrestling fan, so it's an honor to be speaking with you.
Thank you.
You've had an incredible run of opponents of all different types and styles. What would you ideally want out of an opponent on July 31st?
An opponent?
Yeah.
Someone that could wrestle, that could work. Doesn't have to be a big name, doesn't have to be anybody, just someone that can work. And there's a lot of guys that don't get nearly the recognition for who they are and who they've been for whatever reason, who knows. And if you were to ask Jeff, he'll tell you the same thing. Some guys make it, some people don't. There's a lot of talents out there that should be wrestling and they're not, and who knows why. You know, they're with another association, or they don't have and don't get the name recognition. But giving you something to relate back to, the day that AJ Styles finally came to WWE, he walked out that door and it blew the roof off. And I thought, hell, they won't know who AJ is, Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Not knocking Ring of Honor, but they know AJ Styles because he was great, and he is great to this day. But it's funny how this business works. You know, like they just hired, I heard like 80, I think Jeremy Borash can tell you, like 75 or 80 prime athletes to NXT. Out of that group of 80, I told Jeremy, 2 might make it. If they're lucky, 2 will make it to what we call the big time, which is a consecutive period of time on top. Jeff spent years on top. It's hard to be on top in this business for years, very hard. It's competition within competition.
Cassio from WRTT Huntsville. This message is for Jeff. Jeff, I know you mentioned earlier you were thankful to be a small part of this. Would you say officially or unofficially you are a part of the exact last match? I know you're a part of Starrcast, but are you a part of the last match?
Well, at this stage, no, I'm not. I'm a part of. I'm Conrad's partner. I'm here today in a lot of ways representing Conrad, but talking about Starrcast. I've got another role in my life right now, but I'm truly tickled to death to be a part of the 3-day celebration in a lot of ways, because the roast is on Friday, and that is a who's who of not just wrestling personalities, but entertainment personalities from the music world, sports world. Rick, he's the longevity with the Nature Boy is unparalleled, and along with that, he knows generations of entertainers and athletes. So I'm very happy that I'm a part of the 3-day event, and super grateful.
John Burton from Channel 5 has another question.
Thanks, Mike. Forgot to introduce myself earlier. Jonathan Burton, News Channel 5, Nashville, WNSR Sports Radio. Rick, have you stopped to think about over the years the icon you've become? I mean, there are rap artists who write songs about you that weren't even alive when you were winning world championships and things of that nature. Not just in wrestling, but you know how you bridge gaps with so many like people, races, creeds, and age groups and stuff like that. Have you had time to reflect on that over the last, 10, 15 years?
You know, it's funny. I've got so many friends that they all these people are, well, until I didn't know Offset until the thing with the Migos came around. Actually, Offset and Metro Boomin. But I've known Snoop for years. Snoop's only 47 years old. He's been the big dog since, for 25 years. I mean, so Snoop Dogg I've known forever. Rick Ross. I was at an event in Miami raising money for this company that I'm coming out with anyway, it's a brand called Ric Flair Drip. The guy asked me if I knew Rick Ross. I said, do I know Rick Ross? I mean, like Rick Ross and I are like brothers, I mean, so I just take it for granted because I just have been friends with these guys forever, and I look at myself and say how lucky I am that they are mentioning me, like Flo Rida. I think Flo Rida's coming to roast me, as a matter of fact, so he and I got some stuff to talk about. The Flo Rida.
Real quick again, I just wanted to ask you about the robe. Looks like an 83 Starrcade style early robe. Olivia Walker influence. If you could take me into the making of this, did you have any thoughts, background in regards to your thoughts on in regards to the robe?
Well, this is the first robe that Olivia ever made me back in '76 after the airplane crash that Dave and I were in. And George Scott helped me come up with a Nature Boy gimmick, like hence Buddy Rogers. So nobody, yes, Buddy, I'm giving you your due. But as Harley Race would say, Jeff will like this. Flair took Rogers' gimmick to a whole new level. Woo! So yeah, that was my first one, and Olivia made. She's the greatest. I'll never be able to say enough about her. And Conrad has done all this. I mean, Conrad, he's like my son. I know he's my son-in-law, but we just have gotten so close, and I've never met anybody that appreciated that was so successful in another aspect of his personal life, business, whatever, that is so committed to the wrestling. Greg, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if someday he doesn't own his own promotion. I mean, he has a love for wrestling, and he did all this on his own. I'm just following around, trying to keep up with the schedule. And hopefully Lethal's not going to dump me, or I'll have to find a new training partner.
I think that's going to do it. We are so thankful to have Ric Flair here. We're so thankful that Starrcast V is going to be at the fairgrounds in Nashville, July the 29th.
Sorry, well, I was doing this to play. Until he called me the greatest of all time, I was going to do this as a joke, but I'll just do it now anyway. Here's 2 tickets for Jeff and his dad, front row.
Inside joke. Now I get it. He's still mad at me at my Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah, I am. Nobody. He got a lot of ground on me tonight. Comparing Shawn Michaels, better than come on. I mean, Shawn, I can still remember the little Brian James and Michael Jordan of wrestling. Shawn Michaels, really? Are you
still bitter?
Are you 45 yet?
No. Oh, Mike, nothing's going to happen.
Okay. I was just moving back.
I get it. He was going to play a rib on him. He doesn't carry tickets around. He's going to play a rib on me. I guarantee it. I get it.
No, I'm not. We're going to play.
So do we want to keep going, or
No.
do we we're going to end it?
We're going
We're going to end it. All right. Looking forward to Starrcast V, Ric Flair's last match, moving to Municipal Auditorium. The tickets go on sale tomorrow morning. Hopefully you'll be a part of it. For everybody here and for the Nature Boy Ric Flair, thanks so much for joining us from the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone. I am David Crockett, coming to you from the the Jim Crockett Promotions Control Center with your Ric Flair's Last Match Report. July 31st, live from the Nashville Municipal Auditorium, Ric Flair laces up his boots for one last match. Here at Jim Crockett Promotions, we like to pride ourselves with bringing you the dream matches you want to see. Well, this rematch is a decade in the making. Some would even say it's a match we'd never see again.
It's a dream tag team match. First, it's the Wolves. Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards reunite once more. The 5-time Impact Tag Team Champions take on Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns, voted the most impactful team in TNA and Impact Wrestling history. Both duos look to show why they are seen as two of the greatest tandems of all time with this matchup we never thought we'd see.
Don't miss a single moment of the action. Tickets are now on sale at RicFlairsLastMatch.com. But if you can't make it to Nashville, don't worry, we've got you covered. You can order the whole weekend of events right now at Starrcast.com. Choose from any of the bundles we're offering to ensure you don't miss a single minute of this massive weekend. Again, that's Starrcast.com. Fans, stay tuned for more match announcements from Jim Crockett Promotions Control Center. I'm David Crockett, and I'll see you next time.
The Roast of Ric Flair, you kidding me? It's the Nature Boy. What are they going to say? I am, the man. Okay? You say what you want to say. Just remember at the end of the night, when all is said and done, I get to talk about you. Woo! The Roast of Ric Flair. Woo! Look at it all over there. I can look.